halftime. How you feel about Kendrick's performance?
Oh man, Kendrick killed it.
Okay.
Killed it.
Okay.
You know, the storytelling, the performance, the showmanship.
Yeah.
Drake is once again trolling Lucian Grainge, the CEO of UMG, by posting his daughter-in-law. He also unfollowed everybody on his burner and now only follows her. Messing with the labels like this is a very risky move.
It has a rich baby daddy named Lucian and Universal.
Wow.
He's like, you know, like, man, my daddy got it. You know what I'm saying? It's like, my daddy controlled the spins. My daddy got the DSPs. My daddy. Drake has a rich baby daddy.
I talked to a UMG executive earlier today, and you know, he was like, bro, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know this to be the case, but it seemed like he trying to get out his deal. This is like a strategic play to get out his deal.
So Pusha T, y'all, the drama between Drake and Kendrick just got even spicier. And guess who's stirring the pot? None other than Pusha T himself. And trust me, what he's hinting at about Drake's downfall will make your jaw drop. Can we just take a moment to talk about how Kendrick absolutely shattered the Super Bowl halftime show record? We're talking over 130 million views, people. That's more than any other performer in history. But while everyone was celebrating Kendrick's incredible moment, Pusha T slid into the conversation with the most cryptic message that has everyone convinced he's throwing some serious shade at Drake. And speaking of Drake, oh honey, it's not looking good. He seems to be spiraling more and more each day, and you won't believe what he just did. He's now escalating his beef with UMG CEO Lucian Grainge by targeting, wait for it, Lucian's daughter-in-law Sofia Richie. The audacity. What's absolutely wild is that Drake spent years bragging about his exclusive UMG contract, flaunting his relationship with Lucian like they were besties, acting like he was untouchable. And now, it's all blowing up in his face. Fans are saying he totally played himself because he signed a deal with the devil thinking he was special, and now he's paying the price. But instead of playing it smart, Drake is literally pressing the self-destruct button. I mean, seriously, suing the label that gave you $400 million? That's definitely a choice. And now going after Lucian's family? Drake must have a career death wish because none of his moves lately have made any sense. And with Pusha T hinting that Drake was always meant to lose, it really makes you wonder, was this Drake's fate all along? Why is Drake moving like he's trying to permanently destroy what's left of his reputation? Let's dive into all this piping hot tea.
You don't stand for nothing, you don't say nothing about nothing. You don't. And you run to the Memphis, oh, I'm Memphis, Houston, that's my black side. You never related.
Okay, so here's the tea. Pusha T has finally broken his silence about Kendrick Lamar's record-breaking Super Bowl halftime show, and let me tell you, fans are absolutely convinced he was sending a not-so-subtle message about Drake's downfall. Pusha took to his Instagram stories to acknowledge Kendrick's historic win, but trust me, it wasn't just a simple congratulations. His words had people scrambling to read between the lines. Pusha wrote "Mission accomplished" with his congrats, and he also recently praised Kendrick's Super Bowl show while chatting with some paparazzi. You could just tell he was beaming with pride over Kendrick's accomplishment.
Super Bowl halftime. How you feel about Kendrick's performance?
Oh man, Kendrick killed it.
Okay.
Killed it.
Okay.
You know, the storytelling, the performance, the showmanship,
yeah,
the creativity, you know, real artist for real.
Yes, sir.
And he did it his way.
Okay.
Gotta respect it.
Now, let's talk about that mission accomplished comment from Pusha because fans are absolutely dissecting every word. People are saying Pusha knew exactly what he was doing, suggesting that Kendrick successfully sealed Drake's fate, something that Pusha himself played a huge part in. Let's not forget that earth-shattering moment when Pusha cracked Drake's untouchable image back in 2018 with The Story of Adidon, exposing Drake's secret son and baby mother to the world. That moment alone completely changed how everyone saw Drake, and now with Kendrick's back-to-back takedowns and Drake spiraling into self-sabotage, it's looking more and more like this was all part of some master plan to strip away Drake's golden boy status for good. Speaking of Drake's behavior lately, oh my goodness, it's getting messy. After Kendrick's Super Bowl performance broke records, Drake seems to be absolutely losing it. He's been posting non-stop on his Finsta, and while yes, some of it is promo for his new collab album with Party Next Door, this isn't just about Drake trying to make a musical comeback. No. Drake is now escalating his war with UMG and making moves that could land him in even bigger trouble. So last month, and I still can't believe he did this, Drake filed a federal defamation lawsuit against his own label, UMG. He's claiming they artificially boosted the success of Kendrick's diss track Not Like Us. According to Drake, UMG conspired with streaming services to artificially inflate the numbers and knowingly allowed a song that falsely accuses him of being a PDF file to go mega viral. Running to the courts over a rap beef and suing your label instead of directly responding to Kendrick was already a bad look. But now, Drake is taking things to a whole new level of personal, and as he always does when he has a problem with a man, Drake is going after the women close to them. This time, he's targeting Sofia Richie Grainge, who's married to Lucian Grainge's son, Elliot. On Tuesday, February 11th, Drake shared a picture of Sofia wearing an OVO shirt on his other Instagram page, and get this, Sofia is now the only person Drake follows from his Finsta account. But Drake posting Sofia is already backfiring spectacularly, with fans saying this just proves once again that Drake has zero self-awareness and hasn't learned a thing from this beef. Plus, instead of coming directly for Kendrick or Lucian Grainge, Drake is targeting a woman who has absolutely nothing to do with this drama. And what makes this even worse is that this isn't the first time Drake has taken cheap shots at women instead of directly addressing the men he's beefing with. Let me break it down for you. With Meek Mill, Drake went after Nicki. With Pusha T, he brought up Pusha's fiancée, Virginia. Against Kendrick, he kept throwing shots at Whitney. With DJ Mustard, it was his ex-wife. And when MD said Drake makes pop music, Drake went and followed his daughter who had just turned 18. And now that he's in a full-on war with Lucian Grainge, Drake is coming for his daughter-in-law, who, by the way, is 12 years younger than Drake, married, and has an 8-month-old baby. You would think that with all the allegations swirling around Drake and young women, he would be extra careful and stay far away from dragging any women and children into his beef, but it's like he just can't help himself. Now, fans are saying that despite all that talk from Drizzy's fans about Drake supposedly being unbothered, it's crystal clear that he's spiraling in real time, and the way things are looking, it's only going to get worse. One fan absolutely nailed it when they said, "Mind you, Drake has to be aware of how destructive his fans have been lately, so to post Sofia who's minding her married business with her little baby girl, knowing your deranged fans will flood her comments and socials on your behalf is actually nasty AF. He's a B." And someone else wrote, "You posting Sofia Richie, who is not only married to Lucian Grainge's son, but is the daughter of Lionel Richie. Sure, Drake's fans have no clue who he is, LOL. When you mess with powerful men's families, don't cry when they pull a plot twist on you." Now let's talk about Lucian and his fallout with Drake, because that seems to be the real reason behind Drake's meltdown. Apparently Drake is convinced that Lucian plotted against him, which makes zero sense considering Drake was UMG's biggest cash cow for years. Now Drake's fans are trying hard to spin this lawsuit as some revolutionary move, claiming that Drake is suing UMG as a way to fight the whole industry and help small independent artists fight against these evil labels. But let's be real, Drake had no problem being Lucian's golden child when it benefited him. In fact, he was more than happy to flex his special privileges, constantly bragging about how different his deal was from other artists. He even name-dropped Lucian in multiple songs, acting like he was untouchable because of how close they were.
Shit done changed. Billionaires talk to me different when they see my pay stuff from Lucian Grainge. Who the CEO of Universal? They're mistaken, cause Google's saying Lucian, but that just doesn't make sense. Who got Lucian? I said, f it, I'm tearing holes in my budget. All I know is that God got me, I'm sitting on large properties. Treat me like a newborn, Lucian not dropping me.
What's absolutely wild is that before this whole mess with Kendrick, Drake wasn't just another UMG artist, he was Lucian's golden boy. Back in 2021, Drake locked in one of the biggest deals in music history, rumored to be worth $450 million, and Lucian himself made it crystal clear that Drake could have whatever he wanted.
On Stay Schemin', Drake says, "Tell Lucian I said I'm tearing holes in my budget."
Tell Lucian I said I'm tearing holes in my budget.
Did Drake call you up after that and say, "Hey, I need more money for my project"?
If ever Drake or whenever Drake calls up and says he needs more money for his project, I give it to him.
Now, there are a few juicy theories floating around about what caused this huge fallout between Drake and Lucian. Some people are saying that Drake may have gotten a bit too comfortable in his position as UMG's cash cow and tried to push his luck. According to some sources, Drake tried to renegotiate his deal and demanded a whopping $600 million from Lucian. But the problem is, Drake forgot who's really in charge. Despite all his success, Lucian's the boss, and Drake is still just an employee, no matter how big he got.
So this is what I'm hearing. So Drake, supposedly in this $400 million deal, he had one more deliverable, which is the Party Next Door album. Now, prior to the beef in May, there was going to be a last project that would then catapult Drake into his next deal. It's like basketball. These guys are like restricted free agents, right? You don't let them become a free agent before you negotiate and lock them into another deal. What happens is when you're at your last project, y'all start talking. It's like contract year. Think about NBA. All right, you playing basketball. Sometimes they be like, yo, I'm too injured to play. When it's contract year, you suck up that injury, you got to play because you want that bigger contract next. Here's the interesting thing. Before Drake could drop that and then potentially be a free agent, he's been negotiating. He's been thinking, I'm going to go get a bigger payday, maybe $600 million. The beef happens, and from what I've been, told, the conversations have severely not gone in Drake's favor. The re-upping or whatever, it's just not what Drake would think.
But then there's another theory making the rounds, and honestly, it's even more scandalous. Some fans are speculating that this has something to do with Diddy's case because last year, Lucian was named in one of the lawsuits filed against Diddy. Remember that lawsuit producer Lil Rod filed against Diddy? Well, it wasn't just targeting Diddy, it also had some serious accusations aimed at Lucian and UMG. Lil Rod suggested that Lucian and Diddy's connection could be more than just a business deal, saying, Mr. Jones recalls seeing defendant Grainge visiting Mr. Combs' home in Miami, Florida, and Los Angeles, California. According to Mr. Jones, whenever defendant Grainge visited Mr. Combs at his homes, it would be in the evening, and he and Mr. Combs would disappear for hours in Mr. Combs' bedroom. And then Lil Rod accused Lucian of aiding, abetting, and inducing Diddy's criminal venture and claimed that Lucian was one of Diddy's co-conspirators who knowingly benefited from Diddy's alleged crimes. According to Lil Rod, Lucian was providing vast sums of cash which made Diddy's criminal venture possible, and on top of that, Lil Rod alleged that Diddy might have Lucian on tape doing questionable things at these freak-off parties. But here's where things get really shady. In May 2024, just a few months after Lil Rod filed his lawsuit, news came out that Lucian and UMG were dropped from the list of people being sued.
Lucian Grainge and Universal Music Group are now dropped from the Diddy lawsuit. Tyrone Blackburn dropped them from the lawsuit with prejudice after the attorneys for Universal Music Group and Lucian Grainge said that the accusations were so offensively false that they plan to seek legal penalties directly against the lawyer Tyrone Blackburn and not even the accuser. And I feel like the only reason that Tyrone Blackburn dropped them from this lawsuit is because he knows how good of attorneys these actually are, and they're backed by Universal Music Group and Lucian Grainge, so there's some big money behind them.
And guess what else went down in May 2024? Kendrick dropped 3 diss tracks aimed not just at Drake, but at the whole industry. 616, In LA, and Meet the Grams. So just when Lucian and UMG thought they'd escaped the heat from Lil Rod's lawsuit, Kendrick and Drake's beef started to really heat up. And Kendrick wasn't just coming after Drake. Remember on Meet the Grams, Kendrick spits, "I've been in this industry 12 years. I'ma tell y'all one little secret. It's some weirdish going on, and some of these artists be here to police it. They be streamlining victims all inside of their home and calling them tender, then leak videos of themselves to further push their agendas." So basically, Kendrick is implying that it's not just Drake who's the issue. It's the people behind him. He's hinting that the higher-ups in the music industry might be running some shady operation. And while artists like Drake are used to keep things in check, there's someone even bigger pulling the strings. And you already know UMG was watching all of this closely, because the last thing Lucian needed was more negative publicity tying him to allegations about PDF files in the industry, especially after he got his name cleared from Lil Rod's lawsuit. But here's where it gets even crazier. Some people also started speculating that Diddy's whole setup with the freak-off parties and secret recordings was actually a blackmail scheme put together by his higher-ups for their political agendas.
The multitude of lawsuits against him are not only shockingly detailed, but allude to connections to powerful entertainment industry figures with ties to Zionist causes. One of the key lawsuits was filed by music producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones. He accuses Diddy of participation in an Epstein-style ring and threats of physical violence. Jones alleges that Diddy hosted substance-fueled parties which youth, funded by powerful figures like Universal Music Group CEO Lucian Grainge. Jones claims these parties were secretly recorded to blackmail high-profile individuals, including music executives and politicians. Lucian Grainge is a billionaire Zionist known for supporting Israeli causes. He's been associated with high-profile events, including the Friends of the IDF Gala, which raises funds for the Israeli military. Grainge's wife, Caroline Grainge, also funds several Zionist organizations. Running in the same circles is Haim Saban, an Israeli-American media media proprietor, Democratic Party power player, and mega donor to Zionist causes. Saban Music Group and Universal Music Group have a partnership that includes global distribution and marketing. Another former Universal Music Group figure moonlighting as a Zionist lobbyist is David Renzer. Renzer founded an organization called Creative Community for Peace, which organizes Hollywood celebrities to speak out on behalf of Israel and against the aims of Palestinian activists. Another music industry executive closely associated with P. Diddy, Clive Davis, has partnered with Creative Community for Peace. In 1994, provided funding for the then 23-year-old Diddy's Bad Boy Records. Universal Music Group and Lucian Grainge have since been dropped from Rodney Jones's lawsuit against Diddy. They were dismissed from the lawsuit after attorneys for UMG argued that the accusations against the company were offensively false and that they would seek legal penalties against Jones's lawyer Tyrone Blackburn. On October 8, 2023, Diddy posted on social media in support of Israel. That same month, he reportedly signed the No Hostage Left Behind letter thanking President Biden for his quote-unquote leadership regarding Gaza.
So yeah, after Lucian managed to stay out of the Diddy drama, the last thing he wanted was for the Drake versus Kendrick beef to bring all those allegations back up. And that's why some people think Lucian told Drake to stay quiet after Not Like Us dropped. But Drake decided to go against his boss and bite the hand that feeds him. He felt disrespected and embarrassed, and he couldn't let it go, especially after all those years when UMG and Lucian made him feel untouchable. However, since Drake knew he couldn't beat Kendrick with his lyricism, he made a bold move to sue his own label for defamation, claiming that UMG let Kendrick release Not Like Us and make money off of false claims. But now people are saying Drake is risking it all with this lawsuit. UMG is the biggest label in the world, and going up against them is a quick way to get knocked down. History's shown that no artist is bigger than the system. But what's your take on all these weird moves Drake's been making lately? Like posting Sofia Richie. Do you think it's just him spiraling, or is there something deeper going on? What do you think really happened between Drake and Lucian, and do you think Drake will ever bounce back to his former glory? Leave your thoughts in the comments and don't miss out on this next video.